Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Red Beard, and we are here for Beard on King. This is episode 16. I'm slowly rereading a bunch of King books. Well, I haven't been doing it lately, but last year I redid The Shining. I redid Salem's Lot. I did Christine for I think the first time, although I had seen the film. I've done some movies, this and that, and so I've been trying to watch some Stephen King adaptations that I haven't seen. We just did In the Tall Grass. Today we're going to talk about the 2022 remake of Firestarter. Widely panned, but so was the 1980s version. Cool little kind of an Easter egg, not really an Easter egg, but John Carpenter does the score for it. So that is maybe the best thing about the film. John Carpenter does the score. He was supposed to be linked to the original film, like back in the 80s, and it just didn't work out. He was coming off of The Thing, which was a box office flop, believe it or not. And it just didn't work out. Like it said something like the version of this story that he wanted to make was going to cost like $20 million, and it just didn't wind up going through. So it was kind of cool, kind of like a circular type thing for him to do the score on this film. It's not that compelling of a story. I mean, everyone I've seen didn't like it, when they talk about it, but I don't know that the source material is that compelling either. Like I mean, Firestarter is not one of my favorite Stephen King books, but and I don't know that it's anyone's favorite Stephen King book, but I don't know. I mean, it's been a long time since I read the book, and while I want to sit here and tell you I'm going to go reread it now and come back and talk about it, I just don't know that that's the case. Eventually we'll do that. But so I didn't have really a problem with any of the acting. Not a lot of recognizable faces for me. Ryan Kiera Armstrong plays Charlie McGee, and she's good. She's cute. She's good in the role. In my opinion, she's no. I mean, she's not young Drew Barrymore cute, but she's I thought she did fine. Zac Efron, which I thought he did fine in his role. The rest of them I just didn't really recognize. I mean, nothing really jumped out at me as like exceptional show stealing type acting. So this is a story of Charlie McGee, and she's a pyrokinetic or whatever. She can start fires. She can project fire or whatever. She doesn't really have control over it though. It comes with emotions and anger and this and that. In this one, her and again, I had a loose remembrance of the source material. Like yeah, in this one, in the book, I know that we start like Charlie and her father are already on the run from the shop. It's called the shop in the book, and this one is kind of referred to as like this government agency, like DSI. But in the book, it was the shop, and that just had like almost more of a, I don't know, dreadful, scary feel to it, I think. But, so in the book, they're already on the run. Her mother has already been killed. And in the movie, it's not that way. And this is only like a 95-minute movie. In the movie, the family is kind of on the lam. They're laying low. They're kind of hiding out. Like it mentions that they don't have the internet and they don't have cell phones, but Charlie still goes to a public school. But they're trying to keep her powers in check. The parents both have powers as well. The father is like a telepath, and the mother is like telekinetic. We find out, through like blurry flashbacks that they were part of some like drug study, like back in the I don't know, back when they were younger, back when they were college age. Another weird thing was that I know this book, the original film, took place in the 1980s. or at least was released in the 1980s, and this one was not. It was a modern story, but like the house they live in felt 1980s. I mean, everything from like wood paneling to like a vent, like an old looking like stereo with records, and it the entire like layout of the house they were living in felt like 1980s. I found that kind of odd. So the mother's killed. We know this already. It had already happened in the book. It happens in the movie. They spend, 25, 30 minutes up front kind of letting us get to know her. And we didn't get to know her in the book at all. Like anything we knew about the mother from the book was all like in flashback, segments or whatever. And so in the film, like, we spend time with this, other than the fact that they've got powers. They're this happy little family. And, we flash back to, sorry about the dog. Flashback to images of Charlie as a baby, and the father having nightmares of her setting herself on fire as a baby, and all this. So when they find him, because the shop, DSI whatever it is, finds them, and what happens to Charlie's mother happens, then Charlie and Andy, I believe it is, are on the run, and eventually the premise for the way everything wraps up is the same. I mean, both the book, both the films have Charlie going to the shop, going to this agency to rescue her father and basically, burn the whole fucking place down, So, in the book, I could be wrong. Again, it's been a long time. I believe that they kill her father, and she enacts her vengeance because of that. In the film, real quick before I go into it, and I'm not going to probably give a lot of details about this as far as like spoiler type stuff, but first, you've got this big, villainous, is that right? You've got this dark government agency, this big building, this facility, and in the book I think that's like different. Like I know there's a barn involved, and there's like a main building, but in the book all that shit's in your mind. Like if you tell me a story about a government facility, you don't have to tell me it's fully staffed. Like you don't have to tell me there are guards everywhere, and that there's security people and doctors and this and that. I mean, I that all comes from my imagination. And in this in the movie version, like all that, it felt like loosely, like very very like a skeleton type staff. I mean, this place is supposed to be this secure government agency, and she walks right in. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a scene with her and a guy that works there and how she gets his key card and whatnot, but she walks right in and the halls are empty, and it just doesn't feel like there's very many people there to even attempt to stop what Charlie's trying to do. So there's a difference in the way Andy. So look, this book came out in 1980s. In the book, Andy is ended in a certain way. There's a difference to that with this film. There's a difference to the way that happens. I didn't really like that. I thought that was a shitty thing to kind of just shitty the way that was going to play out and what that meant for Charlie down the line. And the ending after that, like after she wreaks her havoc and leaves, I mean, there's a major difference in what happens to her and the way she handles. I'm just going to say an operative of the shop. There's a major difference in that as well, which makes no sense to me at all. I get that at this point she's alone. I get that at this point she's lost both parents, but that she's kind of all this is done through her rage, right? Through her anger, and I don't think you're ever going to be able to explain away the way that it ended. I mean, to me, that's that was why she was going there. I don't know. Another thing is, throughout the story, we're told that Charlie can't control her powers. Like she doesn't have control of this, and like there's a scene where like when her dad is captured, they're like at this farm, like they get picked up by this guy on the road, and they go there, and they're kind of laying low there, and the operatives show up, the agency shows up, and her dad gets captured, and she runs off into the woods, and she has like a, how like Rocky will have like a 2 hour or a 2 minute like training segment where he's going from whatever he was to pre-fight. There's like a little segment there. I mean, it's legit like 20 seconds, and I think we're supposed to understand that after that 20 seconds, she now has full control of, and that I mean, that just wasn't enough. I mean, like legit, she does like 3 little tasks, so now she has full control of her pyrokinetic power or whatever. So, I mean, I didn't hate it. It was just okay, but I don't think it was necessarily. I mean, the changes from the source material, especially the ending, for me were just wrong. They just did not feel right. But I don't believe that I love the source material either. I could be wrong. I just don't think it's one of King's more compelling novels. And again, I'll have to reread it eventually. But so yeah, that's it. I mean, I would probably give the movie 2 stars. It was okay. I made it through it. Just not a lot going on. Small cast of characters. And I feel like there's big plot shit behind it being supported by a small cast of characters, and for me that just, I don't know, it just didn't really feel like it worked. So hey, this is Beard on King. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying your films, your books, whatever you're consuming, your media, as much as I am. If not, yeah, I don't know. I usually say, if not, you're reading the wrong books, but this is not book content. It is Stephen King content, though. So, anyway, Beard on King, Beard on Film, Beard out.